Well, it's been a minute since I've done one of these. Welcome, by the way, to my new apartment, studio, barn, I don't know what you call this. This is my bedroom. This is my little office space. I've been away for the last week or so, not making any videos. With this lockdown, I've spent as much time as I possibly can just getting this place finished. We're in, we've got no carpets, but everything else is working fine. We've got a lovely view of greenery outside here, and managed to just get a nice little setup. This is gonna just live here, and I can just record. There's no setup or worry about it. It's just boom, 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 off we go. Mic's here, stands here for my laptop. It's brilliant. I tweeted a photo about it the other day, earlier on, so you can literally just see my setup. It's super simple. In a world where we have all of these talk show hosts doing videos from their house, I don't understand how they're doing it so badly. The YouTubers are making significantly better content than talk show hosts with huge sets, and there are people making better, literally, from their home office. So, we're going to continue as normal. From today, I'm going to start putting out loads more content. Lauren's back at work. I've got my space here, we're ready to go, I've got my own space to make videos, so we are all good. And in today's video, we're going to be looking at some of the albums that are getting released in April 2020. Tomorrow is April 1st. We have 8 albums that we're going to talk about, including some that have been postponed. So, let's start off by talking about one of the albums that's been postponed, and that is Deep Down Happy, the debut album by Sports Team. So I've been super excited about this album. They're a band that I have absolutely loved. Up here will be a link to the WTF video for them that I did last year. They were incredible when I saw them at Reading. They were absolutely incredible when I saw them play in Leeds. In November. Remember gigs? They were fun. That was due to come out this Friday. Unfortunately, due to the dreaded invader that is COVID-19, they've decided to postpone it. Now, they're the only band that I'm going to let off for doing this. There's been a lot of artists that have postponed tours, absolutely fine. There's a lot of people that have postponed their albums, and we're going to talk about some of them later on. But Sports Team, I get it, right? Like, it's their debut album, they want to smack it, they want to go out and play it live and build some buzz. They can't do that while there's a lockdown going on. We're getting re-released on June the 19th. The statement from the band reads as follows. In a way, it seems fitting that we're trying to release our debut album in the midst of a once-in-a-generation global pandemic. We've tried as hard as we can to keep everything on track, but a lot of sound advice and to take pressure off all the people helping us to deliver the album, we've taken the call to reschedule the record until June the 19th and live shows until June. Playing for you lot means everything to us, and we'll be back doing it as soon as we safely can. All tickets and pre-orders will remain valid. Keep buying music from the artists you love. It means the world. We're seeing out the foreseeable in our studio in the West Country, getting into new music. If you want to write to us, we'll try and reply to every letter we get. It's a lovely sentiment from Sports Team there. I hope that this means that because they're sat in their studio in the West Country, that they're making lots of wonderful new music. Whether that's a reality or not, I don't know. But, you know, June's better than nothing. That's only like 2 months away, so, and I get not wanting to release your debut album in the middle of this, so I kind of respect that decision. There are a lot of other artists that we're going to cover later that are also doing it, and I don't respect that decision. But we'll come back to that. An album that is coming out this Friday that I'm incredibly excited to check out is the latest album from the Mystery Jets entitled A Billion Heartbeats, due out on April the 3rd. Now, what album is this from the Mystery Jets? This is the 7th album from the Mystery Jets. They've put out amazing music over the years. And the thing that I always forget about them is just how fucking great they are. They're such a good band. They're so good. They've put out so much incredible content over the last, I don't know, when was the first album? What, 2006? 2006 was when they released their first album. They're an amazing band. They really are. They've had a serious career. I'm just reading through some of their incredible singles. Two Doors Down obviously was the first time I came across them. Massive record. After Dark featuring Accountant Sin. I miss Electro House. Bubblegum, Hospital Radio, Someone Purer. What a fucking great record. The Mystery Jets are a band that have been around for so long, most of the time, people put out like 3 records and that's their music career. It's like a trilogy and then they kind of start to fall off of it. Very few bands continue to put out content as good as this. I loved Hospital Radio, I loved Screwdriver, and what's the new record that I heard by them? Oh, A Billion Heartbeats. It's literally fucking incredible. So as an album, this Friday, you can guarantee that I'm going to be listening to that. I've seen them play live a million times before. I've seen them at Reading at least 2 or 3 times. I saw them play at Moles at a tiny venue with some of my old uni friends. I saw them support the Maccabees both nights on their last ever gig. They're iconic. They're a rich part of British indie culture. Mystery Jets, if you're a fan of indie, if you like this channel and you like some of the indie bands that I talk about, the Mystery Jets are absolutely one that you need to go check out. Album's coming out Friday, and go check out some of their back catalogue as well. Honestly, you won't regret it. Coming out next Friday on the 10th of April, we have 2 albums. The first one is an album called The Bonny by Gerry Cinamon. I have never really listened to Gerry Cinamon. He's playing a massive set at this year's Reading Festival. Sub-headlining. Mental. I've not really ever come across his work that much before, but a lot of you guys, you in there, love him and tell me that I should like him. Big support from people from like Liam Gallagher, big following, big Scottish following, someone that doesn't hide his accent in any way. He released his first album in 2017. This is his follow-up album, comes out on the... Oh, sorry, I've got this wrong. Been moved to the 17th of April, the following week. Well, anyway, Gerry Cinamon coming out on the 17th. Another album that's coming out on the 10th of April, which is the first in a long time, is the newest album from The Strokes. Now, if you're a fan of rock music, if you're a fan of indie music, specifically indie music, if you like New York City, if you like American bands, then The Strokes are such an important part of the last 2 decades. When did that first album come out? Must have been, what, 2001? Is this it? 2001? What an album. What an album. At the start of this year, I did a albums to look forward to in 2020. The Strokes was absolutely on that list, and I'm mega excited about this new one. I've been kind of dabbling in the new releases they've put out. Out the Door and Bad Decisions, they're both pretty cool singles. They're very Strokes. It's good to have them back. I'm surprised they're not headlining one of the major festivals. Oh, but no one's headlining any festivals because festival season is cancelled. They were on my list to headline this year actually at Reading, but they're not going to. This is their 6th album, 6th studio album. Come Down Machine was the last one that came out in 2013, an album that wasn't received that well. But, you know, their previous albums are amazing. Angels, First Impressions of Earth, Room on Fire, Is This It are absolutely iconic albums. Specifically, Is This It? It just goes down as one of the best records ever. James Murphy of LCD Sound System says it was his album of the decade. It is literally gold from start to finish. Platinum, double platinum, platinum, everywhere. Worldwide, 2.5 million copies sold. Go and check that album out. And next Friday, you can go and listen to The New Abnormal, which kind of feels relevant as a title in these trying times. Anyone else realise that everyone's calling it these uncertain times? It's almost certainly uncertain now. Abnormal, The New Abnormal. So, Gerry Cinamon also coming out the 17th, the following week. Also that week, an album I'm excited to check out. I don't think I've ever really paid attention to a new album as it's come out by Enter Shikari. This one called Nothing Is True and Everything Is Possible. Very Enter Shikari. If you want to know more about Enter Shikari, go and check out that video up there. There's a WTF video I did about Enter Shikari towards the end or towards festival season last year. It's one that I put a lot of time into. It's a really good kind of callback to them as a band. Love The Dreamers Hotel. I think it's a brilliant record. They're such a cool band that are always evolving. This feels to me like they're just ringing the best parts of them as a band. It's like an espresso of their ravey stuff, an espresso of their screamy stuff. And with their last album, I forgot what the name of the album was. The Spark, that was it. That was definitely took them kind of more in an art pop direction. This record feels like it's a nice amalgamation of all of those kind of times. I'm well excited to listen to that as a record. I think they're a fucking great band. And they're nice and weird. I like a bit of weird. We all need a bit of weird. So now we move on to April the 24th, the day that time forgot when it comes to releases. 3 albums. albums. All of them have been rescheduled. So we're just going to read through the press releases about said reschedulings. The first one comes from my favourite trio of women, and that is Haim, and their third studio album, Women in Music Part 3. It was due out on the 24th of April. Taking social media on March the 23rd, which was Monday. Happy birthday to Lauren for Monday. Danielle Haim and co announced that the LP will now be arriving at some point late this summer. That says August to me. However, they promised fans they'd be dropping new tunes in the meantime. So that means we're going to have a little bit of a longer promo time. I think late summer says August, early September to me. I don't know about you. I was really looking forward to this album. Their first two albums are utter genius. They are a band that will continue to get bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. And as this conversation about female headliners at festivals gets louder and louder, there's this band of three sisters who are making music better than a lot of the blokes out there. I absolutely adore Haim. I slept on their last album. I didn't like it until like the new year. I think it was like early 2018 I discovered that album, and every track is a banger. They are absolute geniuses when it comes to songwriting. I adored Summer Girl. I love the steps. I think that their new stuff feels different from their first two records. It still sounds like Haim, don't get me wrong, or Haim, but I'm really, really, really excited for this album. I'm absolutely gutted that it's been rescheduled, and we don't even have a date for it. Next was the third album from the DMAs, The Glow. The third studio album from the DMAs was due out on 24th of April, is now due July the 10th. A tweet they put out says, our new album, The Glow, will now be released on July the 10th due to everything that's going on. We have had to postpone its release. All pre-orders will be honoured and sent out on the new date. Despite the delay the release, we will have new music for you soon. Stay safe. Same thing. Look, I don't agree with this. They've already done their tour in the UK. They've done their tour. They've done the promotions for it. Just put it out on digital. Everyone's sat at home doing fuck all, needing to listen to new music, and there's people that are deciding to push it so that they can do some shitty interviews. I'm not okay with it. Sorry, I'm not okay with it. I recently caught them at Brixton Academy. They were absolutely brilliant. Intrigued to see what this album sounds like. Huge cult following in this country. Not a lot of radio support though, which I find interesting. But July the 10th, so we've got like, what, 3 months? And then you can get some of your DMA Dark Fruit bucket hat goodness. And the last one, delayed yet again, is Notes on a Conditional Form by the 1975. Or is it music for cars? Or is it music for driving? I'm a fan of 1975. I really am. I'm not as big a fan as a lot of the people on this channel. I'm not as big a fan as my girlfriend. I do think they're really great. I think they have some wonderful records. But it's a bit of a piss take. Like, this was supposed to come out before Reading Festival last year. This album was due out before Reading Festival last year. It was supposed to come out in May last year. In fact, there's an article that I'm just going to read. Matt Healy explains that Music for Cars would have been an era containing 2 albums. Brief Inquiry was released in November of that year, and the second album would be released in May 2019. In an interview with Matt Wilkinson of Beats One, he specifically said that it has to be out before Reading because they were headlining. However, the first song from Notes on a Conditional Form, titled The 1975 and featuring the voice of Greta Thunberg, was not released until July 2019. So they already missed their trick there. A month later, the album was announced for release on February the 21st. So it was supposed to come out on February the 21st. We were supposed to have this 4 weeks ago. This past January, the album's release date was delayed until April the 24th, which is in 3 weeks' time. And a new album cover was revealed, only to be reverted back to the original album cover a few days later. And then earlier this week, they announced that the new release date of May the 22nd, the band appears to have once again changed the album cover. What the fuck's going on here, man? Like, this is going to be a year late now. And that says to me, what did the original one sound like? There's only one album that I can think of that has been pushed back this many times, and I'm happy to be told differently by you guys. In fact, it's a fun conversation. Let's talk about albums that have been pushed back more than once. Detox by Dr. Dre was delayed by like 10 years. It was supposed to come out, and he said the reason it didn't come out, the reason he kept putting it back, was because it just wasn't very good. I have a problem with 2-part albums and double albums. The reason most people put out 10 to 15 tracks at a time is because 10 to 15 tracks is the most that anyone can make that's of a high caliber within a certain time period. I loved Biffy Clyro's double album. There are some great records across all of them. I think the first part is significantly better than the second part, bar a couple of records. I think that both parts 1 and 2 of Foal's record is really great. Part 1 is significantly better than part 2. The reason is, like, I was hungry for Foals, and then the second album comes out and it's like, oh, fine. My fear is that this new album by the 1975 isn't going to be good. Now, Don't get me wrong. I think that the Greta Thunberg thing is absolutely brilliant. I really love it. Whenever I've seen it live, if I'm having the right level of booziness, that gets me quite emotional. I think it speaks volumes for them and their political message. I think that it's really important and it features really nicely in their live set. I think it works really, really great. I love People. I think it's brilliant. It's like Marilyn Manson. It's so different from them as a band, but so them as well. I love Fragile State of Mind. It's got that wonderful shuffle. It sounds like a two-step record. It sounds very them. I think it works really well. I cannot stand The Birthday Party and Me and You Together song. They're just not for me. It's not for me. Can't stand them. Sorry. My fear is that they've put all of their good records on A Brief Inquiry and that they're taking some that were left over that were also good, putting it onto this and filling it out with other bits. I don't know. Perhaps it'll be a great record. You just don't know, do you? I could be wrong. And I'm hoping that it's delayed and it's going to be great. I really do. For the fans of this channel that love the 1975, I really hope that. But we'll have to wait and see. Let me know what you think. I've just listened to the Chats album. It's absolutely sensational. I literally love it. It's the Dead Kennedys as bogan Australians reincarnated. I love it. It's brilliant. What do you think? Are there any albums on this list that I've completely missed off? I'm sure there are. Let me know in the comment section below. It's a fun conversation to keep having. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section as always, and I'll see you in the next one. Cheers. Bye.